About a week or so ago, I made a video talking about Amato and Kawaki's relationship as it pertains to him kind of manipulating Kawaki to get him to do his bidding. Like more recently, he used Kawaki's desires to make him kidnap Kashin Koji. Now of course Amato didn't actually do anything to hurt Koji, but still, it goes into the fact that Amato can make Kawaki just do whatever he pleases. That's just the dynamic of their relationship. And the reason he can do this is just because everyone has their own motives. Kawaki, Amato, Kashin Koji, even Boruto. Everyone has their own motivations and reasons why they're doing what they are doing. Boruto wants to save Sasuke and stop Kawaki, which will save his parents. Koji wants to save the planet from being destroyed by the Shinju, Kawaki wants to protect Naruto, and Amato wants to see his daughter again. And trust me, he'll do anything to make that happen. And that goes for everyone else too. They will do almost anything to accomplish their goals. I never really noticed it, but all of these characters' goals depends on one thing happening, and that is the Shinju's demise. Without that, they literally cannot do anything. Boruto can't save Sasuke or his parents, Kawaki can't protect Naruto, Koji can't ensure the safety of the planet, and as it pertains to this video, Amato will never see his daughter again. Yeah, he'll never see his daughter again. You see, Amato embedded his daughter Akebi's genetic information and memories into Kawaki's karma. And all he has to do to revive her is carve his karma into that clone, then she'll be revived. Well, that's at least what's to be believed based on what Amato is telling us. But Kawaki won't do it until the Shinju are defeated. Because what if the plan goes wrong and she turns into some crazy otsutsuki? Then on top of the Shinju, they'll have to deal with this new threat as well. And on top of that, Code is still out there lurking somewhere. So he's not going to take that risk knowing what's all at stake. So I'm afraid Amato has no choice but to wait. I mean, he should want to wait anyway. He shouldn't want to bring his daughter back to a world that could potentially end soon anyway. Which was the whole reason he defied Jougan. So Amato should be willing to wait until the Shinju are defeated and the planet's survival is secure. And rightfully so, he does want to wait. So he had no problem with Kawaki's request. No problem at all. He's even made Kawaki stronger than he ever been to ensure that he survives his encounter with the Shinju and eventually revives his daughter. But in this chapter, we learned that it might be a lot more complicated than that. So like I said earlier, Amato used Kawaki to bring Kashin Koji into his lab for a little chat. And it was anything but surface level. Amato discovered Koji's Shinjutsu ability during the Mamushi invasion, and he desperately wanted to learn more about it. He was listening in on his and Inojin's conversation about prescience and how it works. He even knew that the last time he got an update was 4 days ago. And because the future changed so much since then, a future completely different than any other premonition he's seen up to that point was born. So this was their only chance, he told Kawaki. This was the only time Koji was going to be blind, quote unquote. If they waited too long and Koji ended up getting an update, he would have seen what they were up to and acted accordingly to make sure he didn't get captured. So he probably would have told Inojin to just avoid Amato altogether. And oddly enough, if that would have happened, I feel like it would have hurt both Koji and Amato. It would have hurt the future overall. Because what Amato did to Koji was way more important to the future than we all thought. You see, prescience had a glaring weakness, and Amato exploited that weakness in order to capture him. The main problem was that the time interval between updates was too long and unpredictable. It's because Amato already knew about prescience, and he also knew that he hadn't gotten an update in a while. He could use that time and plot on Koji while he doesn't know what's going to happen in the future. And if Amato could do that, then any one of his enemies could do it as well. Most likely Code, if he ever learns about prescience and how it operates. So during his experimentation with Koji, he actually addressed this weakness by shortening that interval, so he can get even more accurate information on the latest future even faster than before. So this would allow Koji and the rest to stay out of danger and prevent them from getting blindsided. So for example, if Amato did this a bit earlier, he would know that Boruto was gonna make a boneheaded decision and tell Sarada to let Code capture her. He would see this future and he would have stopped it before Code actually came to Konoha to kidnap her while finding out their little secret about the FTG pins. So that future as a whole would have been avoided. And then preventing that future would of course save them from any other bad futures that would occur because of Sarada getting kidnapped. Like this scene here. I don't know what this scene is from, but apparently Boruto has gotten his body taken over by Momoshiki, and that's not really good. So if this happened during the, we'll just call it the Sarada rescue mission, if Koji prevents this future from happening, then Momoshiki never takes over his body and everything that occurs in that future is nullified. You see how that works? So getting back to the Amato situation, he basically buffed prescience for him. But I'd be lying if I said he didn't have an ulterior motive behind doing that. And this motive I feel was the whole reason he was interested in the concept of prescience in the first place. He's not focused on whether they defeat the Shinju or not, he's not worried about Naruto or the survival of the planet. Nothing of the sort. Because none of that matters if he can't see his daughter again. So the whole purpose he brought Koji to his lab was to make that happen. He asked Koji, has he seen a future where Kawaki carves that data onto Akebi's clone? And what he heard following this will probably change the future forever. Koji told Amato that he hasn't seen it, not even once. And Koji remembers every future he ever gets shown, so he's 100% confident that he never seen that future. And it's not because Kawaki just doesn't keep his word, it's because in every future, Jura appears, and in almost all of them, Kawaki is unalived by him. So when Amato heard this, he didn't get sad, he didn't get angry, or show the slightest sign of depression. He simply released Koji from his cuffs, told him that he's looking forward to the next update to see what future their current reality has created, and then just sent him on his way. So when he got back to the hideout, he urgently told Ada to look back at Amato's actions from the last hour or so. I know exactly what Ikemoto did right here. He tried to divert our attention by showing us something more interesting than what Koji was initially saying. Because in this chapter, nearly after this, he gotten a new update, and then he was focused on a new subject of Boruto chasing after Sarada. But let's just take a step back here. Let's slow down a bit. Now, getting back to Ada and Koji's little back and forth here, why did Koji want to see what Amato did to him about an hour ago? Well, I'll tell you. It's because he's suspicious of him. He knows that Amato did something to him other than just making his visions appear more frequently. Amato is sneaky. He rarely does anything that doesn't benefit him first. Just like when he gave Kawaki back to Karma. He didn't do it because he cared about Kawaki and his well-being. No, he knew that giving Kawaki back to Karma against his will was gonna lead to him seeing his daughter again. Or at least make it more probable. Even placing limiters on his power, it was all to benefit him and his goals. So this situation will be no different. Amato did something to Koji, and he wants to know what it is. But maybe we already know what it is. You see in the next page, where Koji gets a new prescience update, we can see those symbols on the page symbolizing that something ominous is happening. It almost describes the atmosphere as mysterious and unsettling. Usually, Ikemoto places these types of symbols on pages that is heavily associated with an eerie presence or something similar. Like he used this symbol a whole bunch in chapter 4, during the birth of the Shinju. So I guess it just signifies that something is definitely happening or changing more than it is to describe the overall atmosphere. But it can be used that way. He also uses a lot of O's to do something very similar as well. But when he uses these O's, it's more to signify that the atmosphere is eerie than something actually happening. So one symbol focuses more on action and one focuses more on the feel of the atmosphere. But they both are very important when telling the reader that something is indeed going on in a specific scene. So we see that the symbol covers both Koji and Amato's point of view. And notice that when Koji is getting this new update, we can't even see Amato's face. He's completely sitting down and facing the other way. Now, why is this? Why even show us Amato in the first place right here? Is it to show us that the reason Koji is getting this update right now is because of Amato? Or is it something more? You see, after Koji woke up, Amato stated that he did an ultrasound procedure on his brain to make it more active. That's all he said he did. But other factors lead me to believe that it was more than that. Maybe this procedure made it so Amato could get a glimpse of these visions in the same instance Koji receives them. I know it sounds crazy, but it's not a difficult concept to grasp if you've been paying attention throughout the last few chapters. Back when Amato was analyzing Mamushi, he figured out that these beings all share a collective consciousness. By sharing visual and auditory information with each other, they all share a single consciousness while still being able to think and act independently. Now, I don't think this is what's happening between Amato and Koji, but that doesn't mean it can't be what gave him the idea to link each other's brainwaves so Amato also gets these visions when Koji does. That's what I think this ultrasound procedure entailed. Even if you don't think it's possible to physically share thoughts with another individual, it's 100% possible to record brain activity and convert that activity into a digital signal that may show Amato what happened in Koji's update, possibly on a monitor or through his own mind. The point is, we have no idea what Amato did to Koji, but there's just no way he's not interested in also seeing these visions for himself as well. So that's why I really think it's possible for Amato to do that. Maybe they only showed us Amato's backside because Amato is getting the same vision that Koji is getting right here, and Ikemoto just doesn't want to reveal that yet, so he's keeping his eyes away from us. So now here's the thing, how does this affect the future? Well, I can confidently say that Amato is going to become a pressing presence in the story now. Now that Koji confirmed that there isn't a future where Kawaki revives his daughter, he can simply create a future to where that happens. That's why he wasn't sad when he heard that there isn't a future where that happens. There's no point in being sad when you have power now. With him getting these new visions, it's physically possible for him to use Kawaki, which is his new puppet, to go out there and make a change. It's kind of similar to the relationship between Boruto and Kashin Koji. Now instead of Boruto and Koji, it's Amato and Kawaki. So Amato is going to use Kawaki to create a new unique future. And to put it bluntly, the future already changed just by Amato hearing this. Just like Koji said, to know the future leads to the act of destroying it. So maybe the futures where Kawaki is killed by Jura becomes less likely. Maybe the future where Akebi isn't revived becomes less likely because of something Amato will potentially do in the future. But there is a concern. How far exactly will Amato go? How far will he go to create a future where Akebi is revived? Even if it's ethical or unethical, will he still go through with it? What if to get his daughter back, he must do something inhumane? That's what worries me, because through everything that Amato has already done, there's just no way he doesn't do whatever it takes to make his dream happen. He's not giving up, he's doubling down. And if Amato didn't concern you before, he should now, because with this power, he's capable of destroying the future from the shadows. He's a singularity now. He can sway the future in his favor. But will it get in the way of defeating the Shinju? Will it get in the way of Boruto saving Sasuke? Or even Naruto's return? Is it possible that he becomes the villain everyone was afraid of? All for the sake of his daughter? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. And I think we will learn more about this next chapter. I think when Boruto eventually goes after Sarada, Koji will continue his conversation with Ada and explain why he's so worried about what Amato did to him. And I think what he learns will haunt him for the rest of the series, or at least for how long he lives. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this video. The road is laid out for Amato to become a villain. The only question now is, will he walk down this road or not? We're about to see how desperate he really is to see his daughter. So let me know what you guys think down below. What's in store for Koji and Amato in the future? And what can they do now that Amato may have the keys to the future alongside Koji? Leave all your thoughts and ideas down below, and I'll be sure to give mine as well. But as always, if you all enjoyed this video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, then go ahead and like the video. Also comment, subscribe, and turn on them post notifications so you know whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later, and I'm out. Peace.